Beautiful people, what's good? Welcome to the first official episode of the Brainz Podcast. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShills II, and as you guys can see, we got the gang in the building. We got the lovely B Ling, and we got
Hey,
my guy, BIRDGANG 31, the mastermind behind the madness. How are we feeling this evening?
Hey, it's
good.
great.
We living. We here.
We here.
Uh-huh.
That's what's up.
For sure. I know. It's so crazy. We were supposed to start this thing, what about maybe 2-3 weeks ago, but so many things happened. I caught COVID.
Yeah.
B-Ling, you was moving. You know how man, just so many things happened, man. But B-Ling, how did that move go? Because you were saying off air, you moved to a different state, right?
Yes, I moved to Ohio. So I'm from West Virginia.
Okay. Shout out to the WV.
Yeah. It was hectic. It was fast. I'm here. I'm ready to get this show rocking so we can cover some things and let's see it take off.
For sure. I like that energy. BG, how you feeling, man?
You know I'm always good, my guy. You know, it's never a steady day for BG. BG always grinding. So we're gonna keep that trend going for the whole year and from years to come. So man, I feel good about this, man. I love, what's going on with the network. I love all you guys. Shout out to both of you guys for doing this with me, man. I salute you guys, and I really look forward to the show blowing up.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I'm glad you reached out to me because we was talking about getting some things going in the past, and the timing had to be right, but no time like the present, man. It's so many things to discuss. The Super Bowl, the official beginning of the off season with the Eagles and so many other NFL teams right now. Man, it's just the free agency, the draft, man. So
Definitely
exactly
the upcoming season.
Yes.
Exactly.
I like it.
For sure. So BG, I mean, what were your thoughts on the Super Bowl? Because I mean, a lot of people like the game. I felt like overall the game was, it was a good game. It's football, right? So I love football. I'm gonna enjoy the game, but I didn't think it was I don't even think it was a top 5, top 10 Super Bowl at all. It was a good game. You know what I mean? But I've seen better Super Bowls.
I would say it was one of the better Super Bowls recently.
Okay.
That's what I'll say. Whether it's top 10 or not, I can't go there with it. But I would say definitely one of the better Super Bowls watched. Like Burrows and those guys, they did a great job. The whole defense on both sides, they came to play football. You know what I'm saying? They came to rock out. Nobody was doing nothing the whole first quarter. You know what I'm saying? They were like locking each other down, bringing that pressure, all these tackles behind the line of scrimmage and whatnot. I love seeing all that kind of stuff. I love defense, but I'm definitely an offensive guy, so I definitely I want to see more running going on, like these defensive linemen were just destroying people in the backfield on both sides of the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, what's going on? I want to see a long run now, But other than that, like the Rams came, my feeling on the Rams. Like these guys were hot, ready to go. They have all stars on their team. They were meant to win a football game. And I thought they were going to win. I knew they were going to win. I was going for the Bengals to pull up the upset, because the Bengals is that hard-fought team that came through the draft. They drafted some good people. They only had like 7 free agents. I love Joe Mixon, what he does. Jamar Chase is an absolute stud. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the beast of the receivers for the rookie class this year. So, man. But at the end of the day, the Rams did exactly what I thought they would do. The defense lit up at the end of the fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter, and they handled business like they're supposed to. I wish OBJ wouldn't have got hurt. That's my biggest thing. Because I want OBJ in free agency. I'm a huge OBJ fan. I want him to the Eagles in free agency. And the fact that he tore his ACL, that really messed things up for me. You know what I'm saying? Like that was, I was like, man, OBJ's out. He's not even gonna be back till like December next year. So I guess it's not the free agent I want to get in the off season.
Yeah, it was that injury definitely changed the dynamic of that game. Because he clearly was trending to take over that game. clearly was going to take over that game.
He would have been MVP
easily. Because I honestly feel like he was on pace to really. Man, it's a shame. It's a shame. But until we get Ling back, she buffering a little bit. But ultimately, it was a good game. You know what I mean? Like you said, it was a hard-fought defensive game. The game was definitely won and lost in the trenches. You know what I mean? That's the most notable thing about the game. And I love good trench play. I love trench talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I've started to fall in love more and more with offensive line play, defensive line play, man, the shifts, learning more about the different stances, and it's so awesome to see, man. But what are some key things that you noticed from the game that really dictated the pace of the Super Bowl?
The key thing was OBJ going down for real. Because I feel like if he didn't go down, the score wouldn't have been the same. He was lighting them up from jump. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was that guy. It seemed like he'd been waiting for this his whole life, and he was about to show the world that OBJ is that guy. And everybody got to put some respect on his name. But then, after he went down, I did notice the defenses, they played really hard. Von Miller played some great football. Aaron Donald, 7 straight all-pro teams. And now you look at it, it's like, now you got a Super Bowl ring. He's talking about retiring. I hope he do. For real, I hope he does. Because I'm done with it.
He has nothing left. He has nothing to prove, really, if you really think about it. He's done everything. He's done it all. And if he retired today, like he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. At this point, if he continues, it's all because of the love for the game. That's it.
Facts.
It's nothing else for him to do. Like, do you think Cooper Kupp deserved that Super Bowl MVP? Because I feel Aaron Donald should have got it.
It's hard to argue Aaron Donald getting the Super Bowl MVP. He came out in that fourth quarter and changed the dynamic of that game. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. So, but Cooper Kupp is legit, man. Like, anything, he definitely made himself. You got to talk about him being one of the top 5 receivers in the game. Like, Cooper Kupp is that dude,
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, oh, Cooper came out of nowhere. I'm like, Cooper's been good for a while now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's been doing his thing for a minute. And he's that dude, man. Like, you just throw it in his facility. He's going to catch that rock. He made some key plays at the end of the game, that helped put them ahead of everybody. Well, I had gave it to Donald. You can. But what were Donald those first 2 quarters, I guess?
They were keying in on him. And if you
I see Donald beat a triple team.
Right, no, right. I'm with you on that, right? But what was important about that first half was the fact that if you notice, the Bengals made it a point to get that ball a lot. Like, they were very intentional. All their routes were short routes for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to get the run game going, but they were trying to get that ball out of Joe Burrow's hands quick. They knew they couldn't. They knew they couldn't allow him to stay in that pocket for 3 seconds. He was getting that ball out in 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. Like, he wasn't wasting any time. So that's why nobody didn't get home until the third quarter, because that's when they started to, I guess you'll say, take their foot off the gas as far as I guess the Bengals got a little too cocky after they went up after they got up early in that third quarter. Because once Aaron Donald got that sack in the red zone to force him to kick a field goal, I think they set in the third quarter alone. I think they sacked him like 6 times, like 5 times.
Yeah. So that was a lot. Bro, that's
what I'm saying. So I understand Aaron Donald. He didn't get a register sack in the first half,
but he caused sacks.
But think about it like this. Think about it from this perspective now. He forced his sheer presence alone forced Zach Taylor and that Bengals coaching staff to completely alter how they play football. Think about how the Bengals play football in general, right?
Right.
The Bengals, they're the type of team that likes to, throw it deep on you. They like to stretch the field on you. Most of their success came off of big plays, right? But when you force them into that dink and dunk type of offense, when you force them to really have to nickel and dime you all day, that's not what they really want to do. And Aaron Donald, along with Von Miller, of course, and those other guys as well, but Aaron Donald, most notably, he forced them to completely alter the way they were going to approach that game. And I feel like when you attribute all that, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like you gotta roll with it, B-Lane. Things happen. Don't be tripping about it. It's all good. But real quick, B-Lane, before we transition from the Super Bowl, what were some of your thoughts on what you saw? Because again, it was a good game.
Well, I feel like for Odell, it was very emotional, like really emotional for him. I loved it though. Like I really loved it. I felt like it was real close. It was real close on a thin line of them winning. So I was going for LA, and I'm just glad they won. That's really all I can say because I was rooting for them. So, but in all, I feel like next season, I kind of with the rookies going on and with the Eagles, I feel like Devonta Smith, he's gonna take y'all to the next Super Bowl.
Yes, I like it.
For sure.
I like that. I like that tongue. That's high praise, but
I like it. Because I've been saying this
sure.
all week too. If you watch Birds Broad Street, you watch the Last Night Show. I'm like, this is the year. Like the Giants. Like I told you guys, Giants won with an ultimate team. Giants won with a team that wasn't supposed to win. But I feel like this is the first time the Eagles have. We're gonna get into the Eagles. Let's finish the Super Bowl thing. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But I feel you on that. What I will say though, the Super Bowl proved one thing: you don't need an elite quarterback to win the Super Bowl. Everybody crying about this elite quarterback. Matt Stafford's not an elite quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's not elite.
You don't think
he almost lost the Super Bowl? To be honest,
you don't think Matthew Stafford? You don't think he's elite?
Nah, he's good.
Wow.
Like I'm not a hater on Matt Stafford at all, but you're not comparing Matt Stafford to Aaron Rodgers. You're not comparing Matt Stafford to Tom Brady. You're not comparing Matt Stafford to Patrick Mahomes. Those are elite quarterbacks. There's only like 4 or 5 elite quarterbacks in every season. Everybody thinks that every good quarterback's elite. There's just some good quarterbacks out there. I'll put Stafford in the zone of Burrows, in the zone of Allen, in the zone of Lamar Jackson, like that.
No. Lamar Jackson's not a better quarterback than Matthew Stafford. No.
Overall, he is. But see, I look at things differently. A lot of fans like to look at just the passing yards, and they think that's what makes a quarterback. A quarterback is anybody that steps behind the line is under center. That's the quarterback.
Yes. Technically,
whether you're a dual threat quarterback, whether you're a pocket quarterback, whether you're a running quarterback, whatever you are that guy underneath center. So that's the reason why I put Lamar, even Jalen. Man, Jalen's legit. You know what I'm saying? Like he's straight legit. Everybody want Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had 3,100 passing yards. He had 25 touchdowns, and what he had 12 interceptions. Right? Jalen Hurts. Listen, Jalen Hurts had 3,100 yards. So exact same number as Russ, right? Russ had 25 touchdowns passing with 12 interceptions. Jalen had 16 touchdowns with 9 interceptions. But Jalen also had 800 more yards rushing and 10 more touchdowns, which makes him a better quarterback overall because he produced more than Russ Wilson did. And Russ had a better team. He had better targets.
Let's kind of, before you continue, because you kind of going off the deep end real quick. When it comes to Russell Wilson last year in particular, he missed like 4, 5, 6 games due to
he ran 4 games.
Four games, which matters.
Jalen missed how many games?
Jalen missed only 2. One due to injuries.
But he played hurt in the final 4, 5 games he played.
But you're comparing a guy who played more games to a guy who played less games.
But you're calling that guy elite?
I'm talking about Stafford. You talking about Russell Wilson. So
okay, I'm talking about.
So because the conversation began with Stafford, right? Mm-hmm. And I believe Stafford is elite because you know what I think it is? I think people hold that Detroit situation against him. When in reality, he was lighting it up. They had no defense, no running game. He still
threw picks. He's a gunslinger, just like Brett Favre. He's a gunslinger. So he threw a lot of picks too. Stafford threw 2 picks in the Super Bowl. 2.
One of the picks wasn't his fault.
But he threw 2.
No, he did. He did. But the same way how we say certain things not Jalen's fault, we got to acknowledge that wasn't his fault either.
I get it.
But
it's not nothing bad with
regardless.
that. Like, I'm not saying Stafford's crap. He's a good quarterback. But in terms of elite, when you put the elite title on it,
he's better than good. I'll bend and say he's not elite, but he's better than good.
Okay, and that's all I'm saying.
He's much better than good. If elite is tier 1, he's tier 2.
He's tier 2.
But anyway.
But everybody can. We get to that Eagle talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody compares Jalen to the elites.
That's not fair to him right now. But all right, I thought about this.
Where you rate Russ?
Where I rate Russ? If I'm being completely honest, I feel okay. You said elite is Tom Brady retired, so he's not. We can't even talk about him no more.
That's so sad.
Which it is sad.
Titan Anderson, what's up, my guy?
But elite, if we're gonna say elite, okay, if Aaron Rodgers is elite, if Pat Mahomes is elite, who else is as elite as them? If Aaron Rodgers and Pat Mahomes are the pinnacle, who's on that same level as them? I say no one right now.
Burrows.
I still won't put him there. Not yet.
I think he's legit.
He is legit. But
legit. You can't even take a He had no offense. Like, this dude gets sacked like 6 and 9 times in a game and still put up big numbers. That's gangster.
I'm not willing to say he's elite yet. Elite.
No, I guess he's still too young to actually call him elite.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you know what earns you elite to me? A Super Bowl ring. That makes you elite to me.
Ooh.
But
you can't. I don't agree with the Super Bowl ring part.
I don't either, because some people win the Super Bowl and don't win it for years later.
Well, you know what? I take that back. Because
make champions, so even if it's one chance, you're still a champion.
The Super Bowl's a team.
That's true.
Accomplishment. It's never a quarterback. Like I said, all your elite quarterbacks are sitting at home and they do not have a ring right now. Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game, only has 1 Super Bowl.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Would you call Lamar Jackson an elite quarterback?
He's tier 2.
I don't think, because look, at the end of the day, you can run this much, because I really had time to think about this, right? And watching these players, watching these.
That's facts.
You're absolutely right about that. I want to change my argument about the whole elite and ring thing. That's a ring doesn't necessarily define you as elite. It just means that you're a winner. But in particular, when it comes to the whole dual threat quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most notably Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts that I want to talk about, because we're going to talk about Jalen Hurts later on in the show. I think it's important that the playoffs happen the way it happened, because when you think about all these quarterbacks in the playoffs, at the end of the day, no matter how much they ran, no matter how elusive they were, it came down to that throw. Could you make the throw? Could you win the game with your arm? And at the end of the day, that's what it's going to come down to.
I got a question for you then.
I'm listening.
Is Burrows better than Stafford?
Do I think is Burrow better than Stafford? He hasn't accumulated the resume as Stafford.
Wait, no. We're talking about not resume, like this year. Was Burrows better than Stafford?
I don't think either or was better than the other, really. Like, I don't think, like, if you want to talk about their numbers, or just like, I feel like the numbers were pretty much on the same tier.
What do you think, Bailey? Is Burrows better than Stafford?
Don't ask me, okay? I'm gonna let y'all have that argument, because.
What do you think makes an elite quarterback? What would you say will be an elite quarterback? Is it about numbers? Is it about rings? Is it about leadership? Is it about guidance? Like, what do you think?
It's definitely about leadership and numbers, because, I mean, we can go back to Tom Brady, and it's like, look how many times he helped push and take them to the Super Bowl. So Patriots. So I mean, sometimes one man can carry a team, but it's definitely a team effort. So I can't really say like who's better as far as I can't say that.
All right. Listen to this, right? Matthew Stafford this season. We're just talking about this past season, right?
Okay.
He, excuse me. He threw for 4,886 yards, 41 touchdowns, went 12-5. Now he did throw 17 interceptions, but like you said, he had gunslinger.
Numbers don't lie.
That's high.
He led the league in interceptions with 17. Woo. But granted, he threw the ball 601 times and completed 404 of them. So out of the 601 times he threw the ball, only 17 times it was picked off. Just put that in perspective. But 4,886 yards, 41 touchdowns, 67% completion percentage.
Okay.
Joe Burrow, 4,611 yards, 34 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, only 3 off, and a 70% completion percentage. Threw the ball 520 times. So he threw the ball about 81 less times.
Okay. And how many yards less he had?
He had about 200 yards less. But remember what I said to you earlier. The Bengals, their team is based off big plays. They had a lot of big plays, and you got Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase was doing a lot of that. But regardless, not to take nothing away from his game, regardless, I just feel that Matthew Stafford right now, he's not getting any. He's not going to get any better, right? Matthew Stafford is what he is.
Yes.
The beautiful thing about Joe Burrow is we see where he is now, and his ceiling is still not visible, meaning that he could probably become better than Stafford. You get what I'm saying? So I can't definitively say he's better than him. I still have to see more from him.
But you could say he has more legit targets than him.
More legit targets? You mean like weapons?
Weapons.
Which that actually speaks more to my point. The fact like that makes his job a lot easier. Right?
Like last year, Tampa Bay won because of their weapons. They had an all-star team. This year, everybody should have knew. I knew from the beginning of the season, or actually mid-season when they actually picked up Von Miller and OBJ and all these guys, that they had a more legit team than anybody else in the league. So they should have won the Super Bowl. You know, it's a shoulda, or it's like you look at Burrows, right? He got this team, worst line in the league, one of the worst lines in the league. He's getting sacked 9 and 10 times, but he's still putting up those monster numbers. There's a difference there to me. You know, if you can put up monster numbers, why are you getting hit all the time? Why are you getting beat up all the time? As opposed to some guy that has everything. Like you're driving a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? I got everything ahead of me. I don't even need to really try. All I have to do is get these guys to target. Boom, boom. OBJ, you know, Cooper Kupp, you know, Woods half the season. You know, your tight end, Higbee was a beast. You know what I'm saying? They were working with their 3rd and 4th string tight ends, and they were still making plays. Like, that's what I mean about depth by having a complete team. Like Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Donald. All these guys are beasts. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're beasts on that defensive line. So it's like, for me, if you can do better, just about the same with less, that makes you a better player to me.
I mean, I think we're overlooking the Bengals defense. They spent a lot of money in the offseason, and they brought in a lot of free agents. But overall,
but who can name some of them? Like Jesse Bates, and he's not a elite player.
No, yes he is. Yes he is.
He's not elite.
Jesse Bates is like a top 5 safety in his NFL. Like Jesse Bates is legit. Like
he's legit, but he's not elite because he still has to put his name on it.
What does this word mean to you? I'm trying to understand. Like
Aaron Donald, right? Aaron Donald's 7-time All-Pro. 7-time All-Pro. That's elite. Von Miller, at least 3 or 4-time All-Pro at least. You know what I'm saying? Like Von Miller's been that dude. Let's talk
about safeties though.
Leonard Floyd.
It's not many safeties you can name.
Patrick Ramsey. Ramsey's a beast. The best cornerback in the league. Weddle from, the Ravens, beast, all pro, pro bowler. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys got beasts on their defense. You know what I'm saying? Like household names.
Weddle didn't do anything. Like when they brought him back, he played
Weddle hit the ball in the Super Bowl.
No, he didn't.
Didn't he pick a ball?
No. Weddle went out with a shoulder injury and was done for the rest of the game.
No, he was playing.
Weddle had a sling on. They literally
at the end of the game.
What I'm telling you, Weddle. I forgot who he tackled, but he tackled somebody, and then I
remember when he got hurt. But I remember making plays too during the game.
Weddle didn't, and not. I mean, look. The bottom line is though, Jesse Bates deserved way more respect than that. Like Jesse Bates caught an interception in the Super Bowl. Like
Ramsey did get burned though, that's for sure. But that second burn you can't really put on Ramsey. That was a offensive pass interference.
Yeah, without a doubt. But let's transition into what's going on in the offseason because the Super Bowl is behind us now. The Rams got their ring, have to spend a lot of money these past few years. They ain't got no draft picks until 2050. but I'm being facetious, but
forever. Yeah,
it's gonna be a long time. But this offseason is gonna be interesting. As a matter of fact, Ling, who's your squad?
Oh, I'm gonna go with the Eagles this year. I have high hopes for them.
Okay.
I definitely have high hopes for them because I've got caught up on a few last games, and I definitely have high hopes for the rookies. There's actually a lot of players on there that's coming from Alabama, and I feel like that's one of the top. Hey, you come from Alabama, Florida, places like that playing sports, particularly football. You got game, and I feel like Devonta Smith, Landon Dickerson, I feel like they're going to be pulling the Eagles a little bit this year. So
it's interesting. Like, what do you think Devonta Smith's ceiling is? Like, what are your expectations from him from like a stat perspective be? Because I feel like if Jalen Hurts takes that next step, if he ends up being the quarterback going forward, if he takes that next step, Devontae's game is going to go to a whole nother level. Or if they decide to move on from Jalen and bring in a veteran, regardless, Devontae's game is going to go to another level. So, what are your expectations from Devonta coming into the season?
He's young. He's swift. He's like he can move. He's fast. I just feel like he's hungry. So I feel like he's definitely going to pull a lot of weight. He's going to, like you said, he's going to level up in his game. I just that he's one that I have my eye on, so I haven't really got around to the rest of the roster, but I definitely got my eye on him.
I feel you. What about you, BG? What you thinking?
I see like this, like Devontae ceiling is Pro Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's definitely A+.
I was coming out. You guys know, like I know Tone knows. I was a huge Waddle fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted Waddle more than Devontae. And Waddle showed why I wanted him more than Devontae this year with the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? But I do like Devontae. His size, like that size, you're only going to be able to be so good, I feel like, in this day and age of football. Pro Bowl level, consistent Pro Bowler, 1,000-yard receiver. I see that. And will he be the best receiver in the league ever? I don't know if I can give him that.
He has a lot of potential.
He got potential. Sure. But I can't cap him out either because, he's hungry. He's a dog. He goes out there, he makes plays. His toe drag swag is off the chain. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched a lot of Devonta Smith highlights this year. So he's changing my narrative about him, but at the same time, it's like, we got some big cornerbacks in the league, some big physical boys that can pretty much check you at that line. And unless he gains weight, and I heard his recent interview talk about he don't want to gain weight. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I weigh 165 pounds. I'm cool. Like no, you're not cool at 165, 175 pounds.
Let me bring something up to you real quick because you mentioned that Waddle showed you more this season. Why you wanted him more versus Devontae, right? You said that, right?
Yeah.
Now, Waddle, yes, he did break the single season rookie record for receptions with 104 receptions, right?
Right.
He had 1,015 yards.
Right.
Modest, rather easy to do in a 17-game season, right?
Right.
6
But
touchdowns.
Devontae had 50,
So,
17.
hold on.
And he only got 912.
Hold on. 6 touchdowns, right? Now, with those 104 receptions, he only averaged about 9.8 yards per reception. Devontae, on the other hand, 916 yards on the season. Granted, he was in a run heavy offense, so we got to speak on that. He was in an extremely run heavy offense, and he had 64 receptions, 916 yards, averaged 14.3 yards per reception. Who, based off of that alone, Devontae showed that he was able to stretch the field a bit more. If you notice how Jalen Waddle was used with the Miami Dolphins, hold on, let me finish. The Miami Dolphins used him in a lot of dink and duck situations. He was catching a lot of short routes, a lot of short balls, and he had big plays. Don't get it twisted. He had big plays scattered. But when you look at the total package, when you look at the total Rolodex of what he put up versus what Devontae put up, Devontae technically did more with less.
You know what I'll say about that? Devontae's our number one receiver. He's the only true receiver we have on our roster. Period.
So what does that say about Jalen Waddle? Based off his numbers, he was the number one wide receiver.
Well, I guess Fuller didn't play that much, but he was.
And Devontae Parker was injured.
Parker played a little bit.
Barely.
Fuller played a little bit. Barely. He wasn't supposed to be that guy.
But he was.
But he didn't. At the beginning of the season, he didn't get those targets.
104 receptions?
That came more towards the end of the season when he started exploding. I had him on fantasy, and I know he started really exploding towards the end, as opposed to the beginning of the season.
So let's look at it from.
I love Drake London. If we get Drake London, I'm a USC guy, Cali for life. I will love him.
All right, so let's look at it like this. All right, Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle, week 1, 4 receptions. Week 2, 6 receptions. Week 3, 12 receptions. Week 4, 3 receptions. Week 5, 2 receptions. Week 6, 10 receptions. Week 7, 7 receptions. So far, he getting a lot of looks to me.
4, 3, 2. That's not a lot of looks.
4.
What's Devontae first? Because remember, we start passing the ball first. We were all mad that we weren't running the ball the first 6 games. So go ahead and go over the 6 to 7 games for Devontae. Devontae had more targets.
Okay. You know what? Let's go by the targets then, rather than the receptions. The targets are probably tell the story a little better.
Either way.
Okay. So week 1. Jalen Waddle had 5 targets, 4 receptions. Week 1, Jalen had 8 targets, 6 receptions. Right? Now, week 2, Waddle had 8 targets, 6 receptions. Week 2, Devontae had 7 targets, 2 receptions. Week 3, Waddle had 13 targets, 12 receptions. Devontae, 6 targets, 3 receptions. I can keep going, but it'll take too long. The bottom line is though, when you look at their targets to their receptions and just the overall opportunities, the overall amount of balls they caught, Devontae technically did more with less. Technically.
Right.
Waddle's way more explosive, regardless of what you say, in terms of receptions or whatever.
That sounds like it.
Why do you think Waddle got drafted first? Why do you think Waddle got drafted over Devontae?
I'm not saying
because Devontae. I'm not saying Devontae's bad. I love having Devontae
Smith. And that's my point to you. I'm not saying Waddle's bad.
Player than Devontae Smith. It's just point blank period. Like I watched both of their years. I live in Alabama. I watched all their football. Waddle's way better than Devontae Smith. But Devontae Smith in a first round pick this year is way better than just having Waddle. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think I said either one was better than the other. I was more so trying to indicate the fact that one person had this amount of opportunities and did this. This person
But
had
in the
this amount of
first 6
opportunities
games,
and
all we
did
did
this.
was pass. Now,
Say it again?
that does not count all the drops. Early in the season, Devonta had drops. He had the dropsies. I remember a couple of passes. Devonta just dropped straight up.
I wish they showed how many drops. Like there were definitely games where he had a drop, but I think every wide receiver has a drop at least once.
But in the beginning of the season, if you didn't notice, in the beginning of the season with the Eagles, those drops were more frequently. At the end of the season, he stopped it, and he caught everything.
Well, his opportunities got cut down tremendously.
But he's always been our number one guy. So even at the end, when we started running all the balls, when we had the number one rushing tag, when we were putting up 200 yards rushing, guess what? Devonta still got his targets because he was the man.
Now, well, I will give you this though. And again, they had there's a strong disparity of the opportunities, but Waddle with his opportunities, he caught 74% of his passes. Devonta caught 61% of his passes. Both of those numbers are fairly good.
They're both good. I'm not saying that either one of them are bad. My favorite was Waddle.
No, yeah,
I'm still sticking with that.
But
no.
I'm not trying to change your mind. I think that's the bottom. The bottom line is you really can't go wrong either way.
Either way, you can't go wrong. That's a fact.
Yeah, it becomes a preference after a while. But
it's like Waddle's
you do that all day.
And he's just more explosive. But Waddle cannot run routes like Devonta Smith.
That's important to me. That's important to me.
Fact. Devonta Smith has showed me this year that he is one of the best. Even in your rookie year, you're one of the best route runners in the league, period.
And that's probably one of the reasons he doesn't want to gain weight.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's probably a huge reason why he doesn't want to gain weight.
And and real quick, you said Waddle was bigger. He has him as far as 12 pounds go, but
that's
as far as
difference,
as far as height, Waddle's 5'10", Devontae's 6 feet, so it's about a 2 inch height.
The weight on him. How much Devonta weighs? So 165, 175, and Waddle weighs.
Devonta weighs 175. Well, actually, it's not 12 pounds. As a matter of fact,
and that's like
Devonta weighs 175. Waddle weighs 182. So it's a 7-pound difference. Excuse me.
And that's the difference when it come off the line. If you look at their frames, Devonta looks skinny. Waddle doesn't look skinny.
Yeah, like 150 pounds may look different on you than it would on me. You feel me? So it's all about your frame at the end of the day. Waddle's definitely has a more stocky frame. But other than that though.
I'm just listening right now. I'll chime in. They want to hear from me, but this is our first show, so I'm kind of getting a feel.
Oh, what's up, Fresh? Sneaking in like that.
Yo, that
back door.
He said he tired of hearing from y'all.
Fresh sneaking into the back door.
That's how it gets with these shows. That's what we got you. You star, Bailey. No matter what we got, you star. You know what I'm saying? Hey. The guys want to hear from the girls all the time.
Ling, that's because BIRDGANG argumentative, so he'll.
I would argue every point just to do it. Like for real, I don't really care. But I love debating stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because it's always people always think there's one side. Really, I can argue either side. I'll argue Devonta Smith better than Waddle, but my personal preference is Waddle. But I can argue both sides. I can say Waddle's better, I can say Devonta's better, but they're both really good. At the end of the day,
both good players. I just feel like Devonta is young, he's swift, he's hungry, and he's gonna bring something to the table. This year, period, all the way around the board.
But now, Pro Bowl is not bad.
Will he take them to the Super Bowl? I'm hoping, but if not, I'm sure he's gonna play a hell of a season for sure.
Devonta will have a better career wins in terms of his team winning more than Waddle. I tell you that much.
As long as he's on the Miami Dolphins, hell yeah.
I tell you that much.
Man, but let's talk about this off season. There's so much going on in the free agency. Who do you guys think the Eagles should target in free agency? There's so many guys. There's so many guys that are going to be available. Von Miller is going to be available. Allen Robinson, wide receiver. Matter of fact, what do you guys think is the most significant need for the Philadelphia Eagles going into the offseason?
Want me to go? All right. I would tell you straight up, it's receiver. Straight up. Linebacker, receiver.
You wasn't lying. You wasn't lying. You really are an offensive guy, huh?
I played running back all the way up to semi-pro, my guy. Like, I'm an offensive guy, mine at first. But I would say linebackers are close. It's like 1A, 1B is receiver, linebacker. Period. But I feel like receiver could get fixed in free agency coming up in March. Linebacker, we need to wait till the draft for that.
Yeah. I feel like wide receivers.
I love those guys. Those linebackers, those top 4 linebackers that are in the draft, definitely the top 3, but there's 4 good ones. But those top 3, man, I would take 2 of them if I was Howie.
I feel that.
For real. Like, they're that legit. Christian Harris is a beast. You know what I'm saying? Lloyd is a beast. Dean is a beast. He's won a Super Bowl. I mean, not Super Bowl, though. A national championship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, those guys are legit linebackers. Like, we need legit players. Like, I'm just tired of the Eagles being the team that's trying to develop them. We're not developing nobody really special. You know, we're developing good players, but we're not developing game changers, playmakers. You know, you see what happened with Dallas when they drafted Parsons, right? All of a sudden now, Parsons is like the best linebacker in the league. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That young talent, fast, quick, active. We need those linebackers on our team. You know? And like everybody hates on JG, right? And I did a lot of studying this year. And I realized one thing. If we had linebackers, JG defense wouldn't have been so bad.
I'll say another thing about that. I know you said linebacker, wide receiver is paramount to you, 1A, 1B.
Uh-huh.
I'll actually say edge rush. The pass rush is the most significant, mainly because I'm looking at that Super Bowl and the game was literally dictated in the trenches. It was dictated. And the Eagles ranked 31st in the NFL as far as sacks. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Think about the Rams Buccaneers matchup in the playoffs, right? Think about that matchup. The Rams D line was giving Tom Brady gas, but Tom Brady's Tom Brady, and he's going to stand the test of time, and he's going to find a way to get that ball out. But overall, I feel like we need to fix our pass rush. Our pass rush was non-existent this past season. I feel like if you got an opportunity to get one of the best edge rushers in the draft, you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got an opportunity to get someone who's versatile, like a Devin Lloyd who can play linebacker, who can play the edge. You know what I'm saying? If you get a guy like N'Kobe Dean who's versatile, that can play the edge, play the linebacker position, you get a guy like that, like a Swiss Army knife. I think that's the kind of guy that Jonathan Gannon wants in his defense. So guys that he can do more than one thing with. Think about Michael Parsons. They had him on the edge. They had him at linebacker. It was a moment where he lined up at corner on the boundary. Like, he can do a lot of different things. So the Eagles need to get someone who's not just relentless at going after the quarterback, but someone who's versatile that can not only versus quarterback, but also drop back in coverage. So if they go linebacker, this guy has to have a significant pass rush ability. If they don't, they got to go edge rusher. Like you need to be able to control the trenches. We control it on the offensive side of the ball, but defensive side of the ball, we got to be able to control it even much more.
But what I say on that is, Tone, we got guys on that D line. You know what I'm saying? We're not getting rid of Fletch this year. It's too much money. You know what I'm saying? Hargraves, beast. Fletch already restructured his contract so that we're not taking so much of a hit. You know what I'm saying?
It's not enough. It's
not enough for sure for what his play's been. But he's still a good player in general. Like, we want Fletch to be elite, and he's just great. We want him to be elite because we pay him elite money, but he's great. But he's not, that next level, like the Aaron Donald. You know what I'm saying? But he's still a good run stopper. He's still a good football player, right? So check this out. Check this out. Josh Sweat made the Pro Bowl. Whether he's the alternate or not, he made the Pro Bowl. 7.5 sacks 2 years in a row. That's pretty good for a young player, right? Milton Williams is a beast.
I wanted more.
Yeah, we want more. I
needed more.
But he is still developing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still young. So every year he plays, he's going to get better. Milton Williams is a beast. He's going to be even more better his second year in, right? The linebacker position is what made our secondary and our D-line look so weak because they were able to attack that every game. Like every time we played a good team, it wasn't the defensive line or the cornerback that really gave us what. It was about that linebacker. Like you watched the first Tampa Bay game, right? What did Tom Brady do? He played 1-on-1 with Singleton and Fournette. And all he did was dump passes over to him. Boom. Boom. It's our linebacker that made those other two weak. Because if you're able to throw the ball fast, because you're exploiting the linebacker position, then you're able to do it and take advantage of it, right? The secondary, they weren't getting pressure at the linebacker spot at all. You know, our best linebacker was TJ Edwards, my guy. If you put him on anybody's linebacker list, he's at least 30th. Like, he's not legit. You know, Singleton's all right, but he got picked on too this year because he sucks, really, in reality. Like, we like them because they're the best on the Eagles, right? But they're not really good linebackers, you know? And if you know moving train, you know, you are as good as your weakest link, and our weakest link on defense was the linebacker spot. Those years that we played better, we had a little bit better linebacker play, you know, with the defensive line. You know, even Nate Bradham, like, no one gives him love. I thought he was a good linebacker. You know what I'm saying? We had the days of Tequila Spice. We really haven't had no good linebackers since Trotter. For real. In reality.
So what makes a really good linebacker?
The leader of the defense. Sets the tone every game. Can stop the run and can cover passes. You know what I'm saying? Like, Trotter was that dude.
Yeah, these days, the linebacker position is defined by not just your leadership, but how much can you do? Can you rush? Can you rush the quarterback? Can you drop back in coverage? Can you guard these tight ends? Because tight ends are starting to become more and more dynamic as the league grows. These tight ends are getting, you know, more athletic. They're getting bigger. They're getting faster. They're becoming sharper route runners. These guys are damn near wide receivers that damn near linebackers playing tight end or wide receivers playing like tight end position. Like they're that dynamic. So in order to be a successful linebacker these days, you have to be able to drop back in coverage. You got to be able to cover man to man to a degree. You gotta be able to rush the passer. You got to be dynamic, especially if you're trying to be an impact player. And that's my problem with the edge or with the D line. It's mainly edge though. Mainly edge. I'm not really talking about the D tackle position. It's mainly edge. Yes, Josh Sweat had 7.5 sacks, but there were moments of the season when he had 4 or 5 game stretches without a sack at all, without a quarterback hit.
Just like Hargrave.
My issue. Say it again.
Just like Hargrave too.
But I'm talking about the edge though. The edge in particular is our weakest link on the D line. Derek Barnett was obviously he is what he is. He was non-existent. But it's not just a Josh Sweat problem. It's more so, and I don't want to make it a Josh Sweat problem because, you know, I feel that the problem with the Eagles' defense outside of just JG being a poor schemer or a play caller, the problem is the simple fact that we don't have enough impact players on that side of the ball. We don't have enough guys on that side of the ball that can dictate the pace, that can completely shift the narrative. You know what I mean? And I think we need the most impact players in that and on that edge in that linebacker area. That's where we need impact players at. Because I'm paying attention to these past Super Bowls. Think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They won that Super Bowl with their linebackers, Devonta David, Devin White. You know what I'm saying? You think about
you
think about the Rams. You know what I mean? Like you think about the Rams, they won that Super Bowl with linebackers such as what's the dude name? Robinson and Leonard Floyd. You know what I mean? Like they it's a combination for sure. But you need to have enough impact players on that side of the ball. We don't have like if we got one impact player. If I had to name one impact player on defense, it might be Javon Hargrave.
Yeah.
Like, Javon Hargrave was wreaking havoc until they started double team and triple teaming them. You know what I mean?
But you know why I give the edge to the linebackers? Because we seen Jackson, we seen Johnson, those young rookies get some meaningful playing time this year. And they actually did stuff when they were in the game. Like, they made tackles behind the line. They got sacks. Milton Williams got sacks. Like, these are young guys that going into their second year, they will develop, like they will be better. We thought they were good for rookies, and like no one knew Jackson, no one knew Johnson before, and now you're gonna have to put a little bit of respect on their name going into next year, because when they did get their opportunities, they made plays for our team this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I look for them to develop and get better next year. You know, they're gonna be in the weight room all off season. They're gonna be getting bigger, faster, stronger because they're all young.
Yeah.
Bill Williams is gonna get bigger, faster, stronger. He's a beast for a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are young defensive linemen that are definitely getting better into their second year. Plus, we still got the veterans we have. Don't get me wrong. I do want to go get some veteran DN like Chandler Jones, you know, for instance. Let's go get some veteran leadership over there to help put on this line. But I feel like our linebacker position is the weakest.
It is. No, it is. No, without a doubt, it is. It is the weakest link. It is. But transitioning from the defense, let's talk about this whole quarterback situation in Philly. Because Ling is getting real in the city. It's getting real. It's getting
Let
real.
me know what's going on.
Some people want Jalen out of here. Some people, want to develop Jalen. Some people say we ain't got time for that. We need to go after one of these guys like Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson or Jimmy Garoppolo or whatever it may be. But there's a handful of quarterbacks that the Eagles could probably target. But what's your thoughts on the Eagles quarterback position? What's your thoughts on Jalen Hurts as a quarterback? What you have seen from him, man.
Hold on one second, guys.
Yeah, for sure. How good do you think Jalen Hurts can be? Like, what's your player comparison for him?
I feel like I don't really know. Honestly, I don't even know because I'm not too keen on him, so I can't even tell you.
I feel you. All right, let me put it to you like this. No, you all good. Let me put it to you like this though. So, all right, Jalen is one of those quarterbacks where he was drafted in the second round. Not too many people had a lot of faith in him coming into the league, but he came into a situation where he had to be the guy, and the expectations became really high, right? But it's one of those things where you do what you can with what you have,
right.
And yes, he's a guy that's, as far as from a talent perspective, very raw, has a lot to build on, but he also shown a lot of flashes of how good he can be. Overall, he was inconsistent. He had stretches where he was doing this thing, then he fell off a cliff. You saw moments of him. You saw how good he can be. You saw how bad he can be.
Right.
But I guess all right. Let me approach it from this perspective. Then, do you think these NFL organizations, do you think they value developing guys? Or do you think they value guys already having the tools that they need to succeed? Because a lot of these organizations are impatient, and they want guys that got that it factor now. They don't have time to want to develop these guys. These teams are trying to win. So what's your overall thoughts on developing a quarterback versus going after someone who's already proven?
I feel like this goes back to Devonta. He's so hungry as a newcomer. I feel like in his developmental stage, he already has what it takes to be where he's at right now, and he has so much more potential to be better that I feel like they know what they're doing. They know who's going to bring something to the table down the road, whether they have it right now or not. You can see it and you can feel it and but I just feel like for me, if I was an NFL drafter or whatever you want to call it, I would definitely go with people that have a lot of developmental potential because they're young. You want to go with the people that are young that can put in 10 more years or however long versus the people that already been in the game and is like Tom Brady. He's been in it for years. It's time for him to go. So you want to draft those people that have a lot of potential to take on the team for the next 10, 15 years. So I just feel like developmental, I don't know.
No, I feel you. So to your point, right? Let's say hypothetically, they move from Jalen, right? And I'm glad you back, BJ, because I want to get your thoughts on this too. Hypothetically, let's just say, because we know Harry Roseman, right? And if you don't know Harry Roseman by now, Harry Roseman is that type of guy that he is constantly evaluating the position. He's one of those guys that always trying to improve. He's one of those guys that coined the term quarterback factory, whatever the hell that means. But he's a guy that's always willing to make a move, always willing to, shake and bake just to shake up a position. But to your point, Ling, about the development versus something that's already proven. Let's say the Philadelphia Eagles they ultimately decide to move on from Jalen Hurts, and they have the option of either targeting Deshaun Watson, someone who's much younger, has a lot more upside, and targeting
Watson not younger than Jalen.
No, let me finish. What I'm saying, you got to hear me out.
Okay.
Hypothetically speaking, if they decide to move on from Jalen Hurts, if they decide to move on, should they consider going after someone who's young and has upside, like a Deshaun Watson, versus someone who's proven, has a Super Bowl ring, showing they can win in the playoffs, like a Russell Wilson? What's your thoughts on those two guys? Because those are the two names that keep getting thrown around in the city about who the Eagles should target in the offseason if they move on from Jalen Hurts. So, are you more of a Deshaun Watson person just because of his talent and his upside, or a Russell Wilson kind of guy, someone who's proven, someone who's I guess you'll say a stand-up guy, someone who's ultimately reliable, only has one losing season in his career? So, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, if that's what you're going for as far as trying to win the fast way, then yeah, of course you want to go towards the person that's already developed, but you also want to think about how many more years to come as far as their youth, their health, their strength. Like I think like long term. So I guess I'm more towards, let's develop this person to be the best and keep it going over the years, versus someone who's about to probably retire soon, and then what?
Understood. What about you, BJ?
Okay, I need you to reword that question for me, so I know how to answer it. Because you know me, I'm a Hurts guy. So I'm about to give you my Hurts freaking answer.
Oh man,
reword the question for me real fast.
No. Basically, what I was saying was, hypothetically speaking, if they decide to move on from Hurts, hypothetically, if they decided to move on, should they target Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson? Basically, in that question, do you value?
You just give me those two options. If you just give me those two options,
right. That's exactly what I'm doing.
I want Russ.
Okay, explain.
Because Russ is established. Russ is that dude. He's won a Super Bowl already. Deshaun Watson showed you he can put up big numbers, but can't win key games. He put up big numbers with a 4-game winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not – I want a winner on my team. I want a leader that's going to win football games for me. You can put up all the numbers in the world. If you throw 400 yards and you still lost every single game, that don't make you tight. Like, you got to be able to win the football game. That's what it's about at the end of the day. Like I told you before in the beginning, like, all your elite passers are sitting at home just like Jalen Hurts right now. You know what I'm saying? Sitting at home besides Jalen like, dang, we didn't win this championship this year. It's not about the quarterback. It's about the team. What it would take to get either one of those guys, either one of them, Watson or Russ, I'm not willing to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time ever the Eagles had 3 first-round draft picks, and I want them to use all 3 of them. Fact. Who cares about the future? Everybody's like, push one back a year. Just in case we need a quarterback. If we need a quarterback, then guess what? It means our team sucks, and we'll be high enough in the draft to package the following year first-round draft pick with that draft pick to move up far enough to get a quarterback. So I want the talent now. If it's a go now, I feel like our team should be in go now mode. Use all 3 first-round picks. We got so many talented. This is our draft. The draft is heavy of defense. Linebacker, edge rush, cornerback, safety. You know what I'm saying? Go get these studs and put them on the team. Free agency, same thing. All of our needs: receiver, linebacker, running back, all those other needs that we got. Get them in free agency. Get the draft picks. If you do the right thing, we should be in the Super Bowl next year. Facts. You know,
that means you're saying that Jalen Hurts can get us there.
Jalen Hurts definitely can get us there. He's a winner. He's won that. He's a winner. That's what he does. He wins games. You know, even think if Rager caught that ball in New York, he would have still been a winner, right? No one would even cared how shitty he played those first 3 quarters. If Rager caught one of the 3, if Rager caught one of the 2 passes he had, or Ward would have caught one of those passes, that one he had in the end zone, that's 3 touchdown passes he threw that were not caught.
And everybody also, to your point,
talking about how bad he played that game because he would have won the game.
Yeah, I understand. And to your point, you know, a lot of his touchdowns got dropped. A lot of his touchdowns got called back through the penalty. So, you know, the numbers don't tell the whole. You know, it's funny because the narrative of the show, it seemed like we covered a lot of numbers, right? But, you know, as we all know, the numbers don't necessarily tell the whole story. And that's a good thing, and that's a good thing, and that's a bad thing, depending on how you're looking at it, right? But, you know, let's begin to close this thing out, you guys. This has been the first episode. Like,
yes.
How you guys feeling about this thing we're trying to build here, the Brainz Podcast? Because, you know, I really admire the energy. I really like the look of it, the aesthetic. You know what I mean? I love the fact that we got a queen in the building and Ling. You know what I mean? Really grateful for that as well. Sometimes all that testosterone that BG give off is a little too much. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
give me some more time to get caught up on some things, and I'll have more to bring to the table. I promise.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm bringing the fire, especially when we talk about Jalen. I am the biggest Jalen Hurts supporter on YouTube. So I'm going to defend my quarterback, goddammit, you know, to the death. Okay, until he's not our quarterback, I'm defending him. Because I think, like, it's just logic in general. Like, how can you say a guy that was a Pro Bowl alternate, that was Toyota Player of the Year, that threw for over 3,000 yards, that almost had 1,000-yard rushing, 26 touchdowns, just like everybody else? Like, how can you take his team to the playoffs? How can you say this guy's a bum and you want to move on from him? You know, like, that's just ridiculous. Like, a lot of fans are just, I don't know, they're ridiculous to me. Like, how do you not want him as your quarterback? It's a question. He's only 23. When did you stop growing, Tone? You know what I'm saying? Like,
as a person, or you know,
not mentally, because we're always growing mentally.
Yeah, exactly. Mentally, you know, as far as height goes, I've been 6 feet for the past several years, so I ain't go past that. But no, but I get what you're saying though. You know, I'm about 60. I'm about 55-45 on the situation. I'm about 55%. You know, rock out with Jalen. 45%. You know, we need to think about considering some of these veterans.
But listen, I'm more so what you would have to get to these guys.
Oh no,
not part of for our overall.
No, of course.
Like forget the quarterback position at all. Like forget the quarterback position. Are you adding in like? Why would you give up any of these 3 first-round picks? Why would you give up any of the money that we have? Jalen's going to be cheap for another 2 years. I mean, 2 years from now, we can build
that was my whole
team.
That was my whole argument. To your point, that was my whole basis for sticking with Jalen. It's not even really about him. It's more so about the team, right? Because Jalen still has to show me more. But like I said, it's not even really about Jalen. It's more so about the fact of I'm more so 55% of keep the picks and rebuild the team versus just leverage the picks and get one of these, veteran guys. It's not even about Jalen. It's more so about everything surrounding him, and that's his contract not being that much of a cap hit, and you have an opportunity to really reload on this roster. That's really what it's about for me. But at the end of the day, it's up to Howie Roseman. We're gonna see how this thing turns out. You guys, this has been so much fun. I appreciate you guys so much. Like
always.
We appreciate you, Tone. You the man.
Okay. Hey, listen, I do my best. I do
You
my
the
best.
man.
You know, the content is nothing without the people, first and foremost. And I'm just
Facts.
humbled to be around people.
You guys are
like
the man.
minded.
Shout out to 20 still in the chat. Much love
Sure.
to all you guys, man.
Sure.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe to all of our channels and the network chat. We just went over 200. You know what I'm saying? I know it's small numbers, whatnot, but we are definitely growing with the new additions that we're making to the network. And Bay Ling is one another, you know, additions that we made to the network, man. And we're definitely going to do what we can to become the best sports network on YouTube. So you guys get in now, get with us now, get with us later. No matter what, you're going to get with us. So holla at us.
For sure.
For sure. Appreciate you guys. Y'all
Thanks for inviting me. I'm glad to be a part of it. So I'm here.
For sure. And the sky's only the view, you guys. Man, let's just close this thing out. You know, I'm your humble host, Tone the Show's the second. As y'all can see, my man BG31, the amazing B Ling. You guys were locked in on the Brainz Podcast. Make sure y'all double back, like, comment, and subscribe. And we out of here, you guys. Let's
fly, Eagles, fly. We out. Peace.